In 1941, Adolf Hitler seemed unstoppable. His armies had conquered much of Europe. Germany had defeated Poland, Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, and even France. Many people believed that Nazi Germany would dominate Europe for generations. At the height of his power, Hitler controlled a vast empire stretching across the continent. His military was feared around the world, and his victories appeared endless. But only 4 years later, everything had collapsed. Berlin was destroyed, Germany had surrendered, and Hitler was dead. So what happened? How did the most powerful military machine in Europe lose the war? The answer lies in a series of decisions that changed the course of history forever. When World War II began in 1939, Germany shocked the world with a new style of warfare known as Blitzkrieg, or lightning war. German forces attacked with speed, coordination, and overwhelming force. Tanks, aircraft, and infantry worked together to break enemy defenses before they had time to react. Country after country fell. The strategy was so successful that many military experts believed Germany could not be stopped. But early victories created a dangerous illusion. Hitler began to believe that his army could defeat any opponent. This confidence eventually turned into overconfidence. In June 1941, Hitler made what many historians consider the biggest mistake of his life. He launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. It was the largest military invasion in human history. More than 3 million German soldiers crossed the border into Soviet territory. Hitler expected a quick victory. He believed the Soviet Union would collapse within a few months. At first, everything seemed to go according to plan. German forces advanced rapidly. Entire Soviet armies were surrounded and captured. Thousands of tanks and aircraft were destroyed. But Hitler had underestimated his enemy. The Soviet Union was enormous. Even as German forces advanced hundreds of miles, the Soviets continued to bring in fresh troops and equipment. The deeper Germany moved into Soviet territory, the longer its supply lines became. Food, fuel, ammunition, and spare parts became harder and harder to deliver. Then winter arrived. German troops were not properly equipped for the freezing temperatures. Vehicles broke down. Weapons malfunctioned. Thousands of soldiers suffered from frostbite. The quick victory Hitler expected never came. Instead, Germany became trapped in a long and costly war. As the fighting continued, one battle would change everything: the Battle of Stalingrad. Located on the Volga River, Stalingrad was an important industrial city. Hitler wanted it for both strategic and symbolic reasons. The battle quickly became one of the bloodiest conflicts in history. Soldiers fought for streets, buildings, and even individual rooms. The city was reduced to rubble. Despite enormous losses, Soviet forces refused to surrender. Then came the turning point. The Soviet army launched a massive counterattack and surrounded the German Sixth Army. Hitler was advised to retreat. His generals warned him that the army was trapped. But Hitler refused. He ordered his soldiers to hold their positions at all costs. The result was a disaster. Cut off from supplies and surrounded by enemy forces, the German army slowly collapsed. In early 1943, nearly 90,000 German soldiers surrendered. The defeat at Stalingrad shocked the world. For the first time, Germany had suffered a major defeat. From that moment onward, the momentum of the war began to shift. While Germany struggled in the east, another powerful enemy entered the conflict: the United States. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, America joined World War II. Soon, Hitler declared war on the United States. This decision brought the world's largest industrial economy into direct conflict with Germany. American factories began producing weapons on an enormous scale. Tanks, aircraft, trucks, ships, ammunition, and supplies rolled off production lines day and night. The numbers were staggering. The United States, Britain, and the Soviet Union together could produce far more military equipment than Germany. Every tank Germany destroyed was often replaced by several more. Every aircraft lost by the Allies could quickly be replaced. Germany simply could not compete with the combined economic power of its enemies. Meanwhile, Allied bombers attacked German factories, railroads, and oil facilities. Cities across Germany suffered heavy damage. Industrial production declined. Fuel shortages became severe. Without fuel, tanks could not move, aircraft could not fly, and armies could not fight effectively. As the war continued, Hitler made even more mistakes. He increasingly ignored the advice of experienced military commanders. He refused tactical retreats. He ordered soldiers to defend positions that could not be defended. Again and again, valuable armies were sacrificed because Hitler refused to accept reality. By 1944, Germany was fighting on multiple fronts. In the east, Soviet forces were pushing toward Berlin. In the west, Allied troops had landed in France and were advancing toward Germany. The country was being squeezed from both directions. German resources were exhausted. Its military was shrinking. Its cities were in ruins. Defeat was becoming unavoidable. By April 1945, Soviet forces had entered Berlin. The capital was surrounded. Explosions echoed through the streets. Buildings burned across the city. Inside an underground bunker, Hitler spent his final days watching his empire collapse. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. Just days later, Germany surrendered. The war in Europe was over. Hitler did not lose because of one single mistake. He lost because he underestimated the Soviet Union, declared war on the United States, stretched his military too far, ignored the advice of his generals, and fought against enemies whose combined resources were simply too great. In the end, the empire that once appeared unstoppable collapsed under the weight of its own decisions. History teaches us that power alone does not guarantee victory. Overconfidence, poor decisions, and underestimating your opponents can destroy even the strongest empire. Before you go, I want to hear your opinion. If you could go back to 1941 and stop Hitler from making just one decision, which decision would you choose? Would it be invading the Soviet Union, declaring war on the United States, or refusing to listen to his generals? Write your answer in the comments below. I read as many comments as possible, and I'm curious to see what you think. If you enjoyed this video and want more fascinating stories from history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.